When we had this conversation last year, you said that we are heading back to the law of the jungle. And I thought back to that when I'm looking at the Trump administration working with Delcy Rodriguez, who was Maduro's vice president. Now she's the interim president instead of the opposition leader, because you called this, it's not regime change, it's regime roulette. She said she wants to collaborate with the United States. The government released political prisoners. Do you think that this is an example of Venezuela seeing that, hey, we need to play the rules of the jungle here?
That's right. And at least for now, with the United States paying laser-like attention to their country, and Trump is impulsive and he moves around, and so that may not be true in a month or in 6 months, and it certainly won't be true in 2029. But for now, right, I mean, not doing what Trump and Marco Rubio and others are suggesting is potentially a death sentence for Delcy Rodriguez, and at very least, it means that she's going to be ousted from power. They know that. And so even though it is essentially the same regime as Nicolas Maduro was running just a week ago, it is a very different international environment. And when Trump says we're going to run the place and we're going to control the oil, the credibility of that statement for now is very high. And so that means for now, Delcy Rodriguez and her government should be doing, or at least pretending to do, what Trump wants them to do. Now, will there eventually be a political transition? Will they actually follow through on that? Will they drag it out? Will they say one thing and actually do another? I suspect there's going to be a lot of that. And Trump is going to have to continue to expend a lot of effort to ensure that it goes the way that his administration, broadly speaking, wants it to. But the power imbalance is very, very clear, and the law of the jungle is obvious. But there's another point I want to make, which is Trump believes that the law of the jungle benefits the United States because the United States is the most powerful country in the world. And he is right that the U.S. is the most powerful country in the world. But Trump is not the most powerful leader in the world. Xi Jinping is. And the reason for that, even though China is a smaller economy with a far less capable military, is because Xi Jinping actually has no term limits. He has monopoly control of the Communist Party and the military, and there's no independent judiciary. Not to mention there's no independent media, right? And for all of those reasons, like, Trump can say and do a lot of things for 3 more years, and then he's gone. And that means that the law of the jungle ultimately is really self-defeating for the United States on the global stage. That the Americans are better off with a system of rule of law that are institutionalized, that the Americans draw up and generally are aligned with, even if not always, because the United States government is limited by checks and balances. Because in the same way that Trump undoes what Biden did with executive orders and other means, that the next president will undo a lot of what Trump does. And if not the next president, the president after that. So I think that the decision to embrace the law of the jungle is a penny-wise, pound-foolish strategy that ultimately will not benefit the American people.